Welcome to Layn Turo University. I'm gonna go over if I'm gonna sell my cars on Turo, and if I'm gonna sell, how I'm gonna go about it. So you'll find out the answer at the end of this video, but I'm gonna explain my process so that you learn my strategies. So anyways, so in regards to selling my vehicles, I really believe in a long-term type of income stream where I'd actually prefer to actually get a consistent flow of income as opposed to selling the car and getting dead money. Dead money meaning, say I buy a car and sell a car, even if I sell it for a profit, say I profit a few thousand here, that's dead money. Yes, I can use that money to reinvest it into another car and reinvest it into a different asset. But the thing is that if I do that, that's dead money. That's basically, I have to do something again. I'm more on the side where I want to purchase a car and I really want to ride it out as long as it financially makes sense in numbers, that I want to earn more income with it. And by doing that, I have a long-term income stream. So sometimes you just have to sell a car, right? Maybe the car gets too old, maybe it's too old for the Turo market, maybe it's getting less demand, maybe it has too many breakdowns. A lot of different reasons why you might want to sell a car. So it's not wrong to sell a car, I just prefer not to. It's the same how when I look at stocks, I do my best to invest in long-term stocks, and I don't want to sell unless I really have to. If my methodology or opinions of the company or they internally changed, then I might sell. But usually when I buy an investment, I'm usually there for the long run. So that's kind of my same approach I take into cars. My same perspective. When I buy a stock, I stay with it for the long. So I buy long term, like 10 to 15 years. In cars, I have a similar approach. So what I try to do is this: instead of selling right away, if I need to sell, that's the last option after the last option. But what I try to do essentially is, for example, I have 20 cars that I currently own. What I do is, say the ones that are on Turo, right? They start aging out. That's how it is. There's always new cars every year. So I'm here at the airport. Just got done with the airport drop off, and actually going back home now. But before I get to my other car, I'm actually going to divulge my information of what I actually want to do, my strategy of selling cars. So back then, sorry, there's an airplane that went over us, so I'm here at the airport, at least like a minute away from it. But anyways, so yeah, so instead of selling the car, what I essentially like to do is elongate the process. And the way I get that, accomplish that, I'm a Turo host, but I'm also a hire car owner. So consider this: if you're going to sell the car anyway, fine. Maybe you're selling because you're just going to keep having breakdowns where it just doesn't make sense. I get that. But if you're just trying to sell the car because it's just aging out or getting less demand on Turo, think outside of Turo. You just need to make sure to follow the exclusivity agreement that Turo has put in place. You can't have the same vehicle on multiple platforms. So if you're going to do this strategy, make sure this vehicle that you're going to add to the hire car platform is completely different. It's completely off of the Turo platform, so that you don't circumvent your contract on Turo. Not worth it. So that's what you have to do. So if your car starts getting older, because the more years that go by, new cars come out every year, right? So if your car is getting older and you're not getting as much demand as when you first got it, if you're still getting demand, keep it on Turo and just make your money. As long as it makes financial sense. Like I say, if it's breaking down all the time where it doesn't make sense financially, fine. But if it's making sense, just because it's getting old is, in my opinion, not a good reason to get rid of a car. It's kind of that old faithful, it's a faithful cars. Like no reason to sell it unless it's costing you more out of pocket to maintain. If you are still getting a good ROI, return on your investment, I don't see why you should get rid of it. In my personal opinion, again, there's different perspectives. What I would say, keep it on as long as possible, right? Till wheels literally fall off, but make sure you take care of it, of course. Don't give people a messed up vehicle. Take care of it. And once you start getting priced out, maybe your prices are too high, or maybe it's too low, maybe the price you're getting is too low, maybe you're being priced up because there's newer vehicles or better vehicles than yours, fine. At that point, instead of selling right away, you can take it off the Turo platform, add it to the hire car platform. If you add it to the hire car platform, what you'll be able to essentially do is, now hire car is actually a different demographic. Turo is about experience, new car, luxury cars, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Tesla, Volkswagen, Mercedes, these beautiful cars. Even if there's commuter cars, they usually want newer models. That's just what Turo is about. That's the demographic. Hire car is a bit different. Hire car is more for people that want to earn money. They're like you or I. They're basically business owners that are using their time to earn accrue money. So they want to be Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, Amazon Flex drivers, Postmates drivers, DoorDash drivers. They want to deliver food. They want to use your car to rent your car so they can make money. So understand that first, that's the mentality. It's not about having a good time in your car. It's nice if your car is nice, great, but they don't really care about that. Yes, it should be decent, should be still a great car, but they don't care if it's older. It's a different demographic. And oftentimes, however, this demographic, however, is expecting older cars, and that's just what that's what it is pretty much. Turo's not like that. So instead of selling your car right after Turo, instead think about actually adding it to the hire car platform and then make more money there. Continue the process there. And the cool thing about hire car, it's more built on long-term rentals. As long as you keep your car up, long-term rentals, the person you won't see the car again. Hire car, I mean Turo, you could get long-term rentals. I've gotten a few. I've had 3-month bookings. I've had bookings that have lasted a long time, which is great. I love those. Those are that's the golden egg right there. Those are awesome. But that's not as common in Turo. Turo's about shorter trips and different trips to different people. Hire car's about trips with the same person. So instead of selling my car, I'd rather put it on the hire car platform, and voila. And if it gets to the point where my car's not getting bookings on Turo or hire car, then I might consider selling it. And even then, I'm gonna see other creative ways of making money with it. And if I can't, then sell it, and then I'll sell it for a profit. So I already earn all my money from Turo or all my money from hire car, and I can sell it for a profit. And even if I sell it over the Blue Book value, that's great, or the value of the vehicle, or if I sell it under it, I still won because I made all that income. I should have made the amount back of what I ever paid for that car right there. So even if I sell it at a loss, the passive income I've earned through that whole time, or what I like to call past income that I've earned from it being on Turo and hire car, should get me over that. So that's how I look at it, people. Another thing to also consider is that when you're actually with your car, you want to make sure that this is your proper exit strategy. Don't always consider that you want to sell. See how you can actually preserve the income. See how you have an asset, you own an asset, or you're controlling an asset. You can use that to make more money to build your life up. Also consider this. I actually have, I'm both. I believe in luxury cars and having commuter cars that are really cheap. So what I mean by that is cheap in price, not in quality. What I mean by that is I have, if you look at my profile, my link below on every video, I have 20 cars I own. I have some on hire car and I have some on Turo. So I've had Mercedes that are beautiful. I have multiple Volkswagens. I have a beautiful Tesla that I just dropped off actually here near the airport. And I have a lot of different cars. And I also have a Nissan Versa that's very commuter friendly, very simple. It's a commuter car. It's nice. I take well care of it. And it's actually a big time seller. And I'm able to actually increase the prices because I actually have good reviews. I take care of the car, and it's great. It's a great car, but it's definitely commuter. It's not luxury. It's a Nissan Versa, for crying out loud, but it's nice. I believe in actually having both incomes, meaning a lot of hosts online I've noticed either have only cheap cars or only lower grade cars, which that's fine. And there's other hosts who only have higher end cars. I do both. And the reason I do both is because my strategy is this. I want to keep as much passive income as possible, and I acquire older cars to pay for the newer cars. So for example, even if I add older cars or even commuter cars or cars that actually have higher mileage, because as long as it's under 130,000 miles and a clean title, you can add the car to Turo. But you get those cars at cheap prices at either auctions, usually for sale by owners, private sellers, etc., or even dealerships. You'll get a cheaper price because cars that are older usually don't depreciate as fast as newer cars. Fact, just how it is. As soon as you buy a car, usually it depreciates like crazy. But an older car, it takes a long time for it to depreciate because already depreciates mostly already happened. So that's your advantage actually. When you buy a used car, that's a hack or whatever, that's a gem for y'all. You usually get a better price on a used car because first it's older, second it's outcompeted by the newer cars, third a lot of people when they see old they think old, but no, old is good. Old faithful. It'll get you that money, it'll get you to that next level. And then use those older cars like to actually acquire more older cars. So you buy that one car, and my price range will be, I've heard a lot of different hosts online, I might say 10,000, 7,000, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, but my price point would be about 7,500. That'd be my price point, about 7,500. And 7,500 is the right amount, in my opinion, that you're pretty safe to get a car that's under 130,000 miles, that qualifies, that's under 12 years old as well. Make sure it's under 12 years old, and you add it to the Turo platform and make sure it's good. You get a Carfax on it, bring your mechanic if you can, and go on Craigslist. I buy cars from private seller owners. You usually get the best deal because you remove the middleman. That's a huge hack right there. It's a gem again. Just a few gems on y'all. So that's basically how I do it. I get cars for cheap, add them to the Turo platform, earn my income, and that's all I do. Once they start getting priced out, and if they get priced out, so oftentimes like my Nissan Versa is still going. Dude, I made over 300% on that. That basically is 3 times the amount, which is great. I mean, I'm like, sorry. Yes, literally over 300%. Yep, 300%. Just making sure. So I'm not looking. I like looking at my stats when I'm actually looking at my Excel spreadsheet as I monitor myself. But I'm just. But yeah, it's over 300% of profit I've actually made. So yeah, so 300%. That's over 3 times. And the thing is that at the end of the day, that car is still doing very well, and it's very simple. I even put in the Turo profile, simplicity at its finest. I'm transparent. I'm honest about it. I'm not gonna lie and sell you an egg and say it's an apple. I say exactly what it is. It's a simple car. It gets the job done though, and very gas efficient, and it does well. Does very well actually. But so that's what we have to understand. I use my older cars to purchase newer cars. So I buy the cars cheap, fix them if I need to, and I do the math before, make sure it's a good investment, and then I use that car, put it on say Turo, and then get another older car like that. You get these cars oftentimes for under 7,500. My threshold is about 7,500. I'll spend more if it makes sense to me, but oftentimes 7,500 should be the price point, and that's the amount of money that a lot of people can get to. A lot of cars on Turo are well over 15,000, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000. See, there's $100,000 cars, etc., etc. And those are great cars. You could definitely earn a lot of income with those. But if you're just starting off, you don't have much money, or if you have a lot of money, if you're wealthy, if you're rich, if you're successful, I don't know your situation, but if you are, doesn't really matter. If you're kind of nervous or figuring out if you want to stay on, if you want to come to Turo, or if you want to stay on Turo, maybe you're already a Turo host, consider getting older cars. Since there's such a low investment, Adam, see if you make a passive income, and if you make a passive income, then you can actually use that money to purchase newer cars. So if you're a host who says I only want newer cars, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. But how about try to do both? That's what I'm doing. I get newer cars and I get older cars. I'm not just on one side, because I'll get older cars to pay for the new cars. Basically, the asset pays for the liability, and then when those newer cars actually make money too, now I'm winning even more. I'm building more wealth faster. That's what I would actually do, and that's my exit strategy. And then once the cars get priced out on Turo, once they become too old, even if they're newer cars or older cars I add to Turo platform, once they start getting too old, I still keep them on there. But if they actually are still doing well, I don't see any issue to take them off, unless they're costing me more than what they're bringing in. That's a problem. But if they're still making me the right amount of money, just because they're 8 years old, 10 years old, 7 years old, 5 years old, 2 years old, I'm still gonna keep it on there. However, I really am. But what I'm gonna do is, once the demand starts going down, or they start being priced out, and that's something I can't control, then I consider actually adding them to a higher platform and restarting the cycle, people. And that's how you do it. It's all a circle, people. And that's how you do it. I love you guys. Like, subscribe, share. That's how you actually exit out of Turo properly and enter hire car. And once you're in hire car, if you must sell it and you're not getting bookings, sell it. But you can also use Hire Car's buyer program, which is pretty cool. And they have a program where they actually allow you to sell your car to your renters, which is pretty cool. You're doing a good deed and also making a profit. That's a good way to do it. And again, that's how you exit out properly. And that's the value of how you actually earn money. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, share. Conrad out. Peace.